Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Adam.
Good evening, Aunt Mary. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Adam. I'm Jim's younger brother. I have a lot that I'd like to say, but I'll try to keep this relatively short and let the celebration continue. Jim, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for letting me be the best man in your wedding. You're a loyal man, you got a great group of friends, so obviously I had an advantage in being your brother, but either way, being your best man, it's an honor I appreciate. On behalf of Jim and Brandy, I'd like to thank everyone that helped to make this special day possible, everyone that came out to join us today, and the city of Philadelphia for physically allowing me to be here. Thank you all very much. Now, I'm sure the majority of people in this room will agree that today is certainly no surprise. Jim and Brandy have been together for 14 years. That's longer than the majority of couples have even been married. The fact that two people can meet at such a young age and stay firm to each other through 14 years of young adulthood is an impressive and beautiful thing. To be quite honest, I haven't even liked myself for 14 years yet, so to like someone else, congratulations. Anthony Fresta, I'm going to thank you for that. You gave me that one. I told you I was going to use it. Now, for 14 years, obviously that's a long time, and you must wonder, why? How after 14 years? It's all about balance. Jim and Brandy complement each other very well. For instance, Jim is an extremely outgoing individual and an obnoxiously loud speaker, whereas Brandy, on the other hand, tends to be more shy and reserved until she warms up to you, if she ever decides to actually warm up to you. Brandy keeps Jim from going overboard with minor details such as steaming pillows on his couch, whereas Jim has kept Brandy out of a padded room. For 14 years, these two have been feeding off of each other, making each other both better people. And 14 years ago, I was in second grade. For those of you that do know me, Uncle John, I know you specifically, second grade paints a picture of terror, flames, and horns. You could get egged or stoned simply for knocking at our door, but not Brandy. I remember how happy Brandy met Jim when they first met. He would climb into bed, he would call her up, and he would just start giggling like a little schoolboy. It was really cute. Now, I'm 23 years old, a lot of time's passed since then, and my reasons for liking Brandy are more apparent. She's a strong woman with a great heart. Jim was not always this handsome stud that we all see here before us today. He was once more like a confused little puppy dog. Brandy saw through all of this. Now, when Jim met Brandy, he was 6 years deep into a 12-year run of having the worst haircut in the history of man. I literally spent hours on Google trying to find what the haircut would be called, but the only thing I could find was references to Lance Bass and Boy George. Even at 10 years old, I remember personally finding it funny how Jim, as a matter of choice, managed to have the most messed up head in the house, even having a ginger child as a brother. Yes, sir. Thank you. I will vouch for you slightly on this one, Jim. It wasn't fully your fault. Frank, he definitely had a hand in this, Jim. I'll tell you, that man Diva used to let his spirit fingers go crazy on your head. For those of you who don't know Frank, Frank was the very flamboyant man that used to style Jim's feng shui that we had going on his head. What did he used to say to you, Jim? Like, oh my God, Jim, your locks are beautiful, honey. You have the perfect mix of dirty and blonde. Just let Frank do what he will. Did Brandy care what Frank did? No, she didn't. She loved him regardless of how long Jim's curls were. Now, that particularly is when I really started to like Brandy, but he went through a more awkward phase. The curls got longer. He went down the shore and he began collecting different colored seashell necklaces. You should have saw the way Jim accented his Easter pink midi with his chamomile bead necklace. Boy, that girl knew how to work it. I remember my parents were growing increasingly concerned, but Brandy didn't care. The situation did come to a head when Jim had Brandy get every Savage Garden CD he could get his hands on. I'm sure there's many people in this room that don't know who Savage Garden are. They're a couple of mermaids from Australia that sing about things like 1,000 angels dancing around you. To this day, I still don't even know what that means, but apparently Jim always did. I remember, though, my dad grounding Jim and wanting to know why he sang about things like standing on a mountain or bathing with someone in the sea. Turns out he was singing about Brandy, thank God. Brandy's been there for Jim through big life episodes and small. Obviously, I'm slowly beginning to rambling, but I do remember the time when Jim, we were all getting ready to go to the beach, and Jim, your bathing suit was wrinkled or something like that. I think you found a chunk of your hair that was out of piece. Brandy coolly said, Jim, it's okay. Family, you go ahead. You know, Jim, we'll meet you guys down there. Brandy proudly marched onto that beach with her muffin, and she said, yes, this is my man, with the static art of the most perfectly steamed bathing suit on the beach. And you know what? I don't care if he's as pale as that magical albino from Powder. I love him. And for those of you also that don't know, Muffin is their pet names. They refer to themselves as Team Muffin. Now, on a serious note, I cannot tell both of you how happy I am. You're both great people, and I'm glad that both of you have found each other, and since you have, you've never looked back. Brandy, I didn't need you today. Today didn't make you my sister. You pretty much have been for years now. Jim, oh, no, let me slow down here. I'm sorry, guys. All right, Brandy, I will tell you this. You do put on a hard exterior, but deep down, you're nothing but a sweetheart. You'll make an amazing wife. Let me turn the page. And a better mother. I should have known that one. Jim, you're the man. I really can't tell you. You're one of the only people that's been there for me, regardless. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. You're loyal, you're funny, you're outgoing, you're intelligent, and you're a complete boy. I've never met someone as hardworking as you in my life. I tried real hard to work as hard as you for like 2 weeks, and I got real tired. You've been paving your own way your entire life, and you never lose sight of the big picture. To make a good life for you, Brandy, and what I'm sure is going to be a bunch of beautiful children. In all sincerity, I'll be here for you always, and if you or Brandy ever need a thing, never hesitate to ask me. They say love is not finding someone that you can live with, or finding someone that you can live without. And in this case, I don't think this is a prediction, because obviously since you guys have met each other, that's been the case. Now, I'd like everyone to join me in a toast to the bride and groom, Jim and Brandy. Here's to a lifetime of love, happiness, health, and the best little brother that a man could ask for.
Salud! Team up.